Hey there. I wanted to expand on this idea of our careers now being a mosaic and why this concept I think may help. Coming to it now has really helped me actually make sense of my career till this point. So my 20 plus year career to this point, if you zoomed in on it, it would look very chaotic. It would look very messy. Not just because I have ADHD, but because truthfully, if you look in on it, pharmaceuticals to surgical equipment to entrepreneurship as an event planner, running an event company, to professional services, to hospitality, right? So if you zoom in, the twists and turns and pivots, it's quite chaotic and messy if you look at it up close. But when you zoom out, there's a pattern, there's a flow. Each thing led into the next, which allowed me to utilize more of my skill set and be a bit more aligned with myself. And now looking back on all of those twists and turns, it is this beautiful picture. It's this mosaic, right? Is this idea, like if you look in on a mosaic, all the little tiles, like it can look messy and chaotic, but when you zoom out, there's a pattern to it, right? There's this beautiful picture, this image. And so I didn't have this language at the time. I actually felt a lot of shame and embarrassment, truthfully, about this, especially talking to, some folks in my life who had achieved or were on a path. And remember, the career advice that us Gen Xers got was that it was a path, right? Like if you got in somewhere and you worked hard and you moved up, you would achieve success. And then there was this definition of success, which I also think we need to question. But to stay on this imagery of mosaic, for me, this image, this now analogy has given language and shape to my career. And it's given me some relief from the guilt and the shame that it didn't make more sense at the time, that it didn't feel like I was on any particular path, and now looking on it from a 30,000 foot view with this lens of it being a mosaic, it does show a beautiful picture. And I've met incredible people along the way, and I've developed work friendships that I still hold dear, and I sharpened my blade in certain areas and upskilled and built more confidence in certain areas, right? So if I look at that from that vantage point, from that level, it is now a more beautiful picture to me. And I hope that helps you. I'm going to continue to explore this idea of, of mosaic, and I hope to bring you more content about this as I, noodle on it. If you have comments or questions or would like to talk more, I've also written a blog post about it. So I'm going to continue to explore. I would love to know if that imagery resonates for you. Is your career shaping up to be a bit of a mosaic instead of a linear line or a path or a ladder? I think also maybe it'll hopefully relieve for you some of the guilt about pivoting, and maybe take away some of the fear and shame around that, because I think those pivots are what give it the color, right? What give it the dynamicism. Is that a word? The dynamic nature, right? The twists and turns, the pivots that like to the outside world don't make sense, right? To the people, like I remember telling my parents I was quitting surgical equipment sales and they were like, are you mad? Are you mental? What are you doing? Stable, good salary, upward mobility, trajectory, potential, car allowance, you know, they're like, what are you thinking? So I'm hoping that this image, this mosaic image, perhaps gives you permission to pivot and to explore and to be fearless and to really step into those opportunities that present themselves that you feel deeply drawn to, but may not make sense to the outside world, or may not make sense, you know, to the naysayers or the energy vampires in your life. But I hope that with that image of a mosaic, you can give yourself permission to explore these opportunities that you're feeling drawn to, and to really, you know, put yourself in and lean into whatever's coming up for you, whatever those whispers are, whatever the, you know, late night dreams, and when you think of yourself in your ideal state, in your best self, what is that? What are you doing? I hope the idea of a mosaic gives you permission to explore that. So yeah, if you have comments, if you are on the way of building your own career mosaic, I would love to hear about it.